how are you feeling today?
Great. Nice to be back in the Bay Area. You know, the Bay Area always has such passionate and supportive fans, so I'm very happy to be back here, especially for the first ever Bay Area Dreamstate edition. So really happy.
Yeah. So I always like to start with a positive focus, so something you're either grateful for or really excited about.
Well, I'm grateful for the fans, you know what I mean? It's like the Trance fans are the most passionate, most loyal, you know, and I say that all the time, but it's so true that, you know, the Trance family is like, you know, the entire EDM community, you know, they're jealous of the Trance fans.
Okay.
They say that all the time, you know, they're like, man, the Trance fans they're the real deal.
Yeah, I mean, there's Trance families literally from all over the world here today.
Yeah, well, I'm excited.
Yeah, and so how does that compare, you know, to play at a all Trance festival versus all the other festivals?
Well, it's a little bit different because, you know, I have very eclectic tastes. You know, when I do my 12-hour sets, you can really see how I like the melodic techno, I like the deeper progressive, and you know, and I also like you know, there's some more commercial stuff that I actually like, you know, and I'm not a music snob. So that being said, you kind of have to be a little snobby today and like hyper focus on the trance, but it's okay because when I'm doing my 12-hour sets, there's always a 2-3 hour block in the middle where I'm playing exactly what I'll play here tonight.
So I mean, obviously you play a lot of these 8-hour sets, these 12-hour sets. How does that compare to your 1 or 1.5 hour
Well,
sets?
it's a little more tricky because you start scratching what you're going to play as opposed to adding what you're going to play. You know, when I prepare for the longer sets, I'm like, oh, what am I going to play? Oh, yeah, this song and that song. And when I'm doing a short set like this, I'm going through my tracks and I'm going, okay, this not tonight, and you know, you kind of taken out what you're not going to play.
Yeah, and how far in advance would you plan for an event like this?
Oh, well, you know, especially this one, I planned this for ever since I knew it was happening. I started, you know, getting songs ready for it. As a matter of fact, one of the songs I'm going to be playing, one of the tracks I'm playing tonight, is an instrumental track that's going to be on my new album that's coming out in April. So, you know, I wanted to make sure that not only have it ready for tonight, but also road test it and fine tune it so it's 100% ready for tonight. And so I think it's going to be a massive one.
Yeah, okay. And so you've been playing, you know, shows all over the world. Where would you say is your favorite either location or your favorite festival to play?
Well, location, I think, you know, South America is amazing. The Eastern European bloc is really amazing, like Prague and Poland and all that stuff. And then, I mean, here in the USA, I think all over the world, people are, they admire what's happening here in the USA. You know, it's kind of funny because I said this before as well. What's happening here in the USA is kind of what happened in Europe in 1999. With the whole explosion in Europe. We're just getting it a little, you know, one generation later, but it's amazing. Everybody's really, you know, talking. It's the talk of the industry, obviously. So here in the USA, that's obviously one of my favorite places to play as well, especially on the West Coast, you know, LA, San Francisco, even San Diego, you know, the crowds they travel, you know, back and forth all over California.
Yeah.
So.
You also play a lot on the East Coast. How do you think the two coasts compare?
Well, to be honest, they're very similar, you know, and I think that raves festivals like EDC and Ultra have kind of made everybody kind of not similar, but it's made it one community. You know, when you go to the big events like EDC and Ultra, there's people from all over the world, not just from all over the United States. So when you're playing, you know, club shows on the East Coast or West Coast, it's all very similar because everybody's used to the big festivals where everybody's kind of mingling together.
Yeah, and so especially at Dreamstate, you know, I keep hearing the phrase, trance is making a comeback. So what do you think of that? Do you think that's
I don't think
true?
I don't think it ever went away, but I think what happened is people are so tired of that whole put your fucking hands up, you know, all that stuff, and people are starting to like embrace the melodies again, and I think that is kind of making people, putting the melodic trance, more credible music back in the spotlight. You know, ask anybody in the trance family, and they'll tell you trance has never gone away.
Do you think it's been changing at all or evolving?
Of
and
course.
Where do you see it in
well,
5
yeah.
to 10
You know
years?
what? I have a you know, a saying: if you're not growing or evolving, you're dying. So trance has definitely grown and evolved because you know, trance is definitely not dying. You know, so yeah, it's and to be honest with you, even the artists that have been around, like Paul Van Dyke, Oakenfold, and you know, all these guys, they don't want to do the same thing. I don't want to do the same thing that I was doing in 2005. You know, it's like, geez, I would burn out. You know, so for music to evolve, it you know, makes us as artists, you know, keeps us interested, keeps us excited.
So over the many years that you've been playing, would you say that your sound has changed, or how would you first
Yeah,
describe
for sure.
your sound?
Well, when I
versus
first
now?
started playing, you know, I was playing darker and even slower, more moody stuff. And then when you get in front of 10, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 people, you start to realize, like, wow, you know what? I need to like add a little add a little more power to these tracks, and within that, I've kind of adapted. But the soul of the melodies that I like, that I, you know, represent is still the same. You know, maybe there's a bigger bass line now, or a harder kick drum, or maybe there's a pitch bend before the melody comes in, but the melody still stays the same.
And what would you say you want people to feel when they're listening to your sets?
Well, I just want them to feel a sense of purpose. Like, you know, I always say that there's songs that they have a meaning to people. There's a meaning to people with certain songs. You know, it's like a soundtrack to a time of their life, and that's really what I want my music to be. It's like I just want people to be able to reflect to an amazing time of their life.
Throughout your career, what would you say has been the most rewarding thing and the most challenging thing?
Well, most rewarding thing is just when I'm on stage, and I think the most challenging thing is just kind of balancing the travel with you know, I love when I'm up on stage, you know what I mean, and I love when I'm in the studio. That's the part that I absolutely love, but it's all the travel, especially for 10 years, you know, to spend 200 days a year in a hotel for 10 years, you know, that it grinds. So I think that's the most challenging thing. But that being said, the beautiful part of it is I've seen some of the most amazing, I've seen, you know, so many different countries, so many different cultures. I've seen so much, and it's really opened my eyes to, you know, to what this planet really is about.
So tell us what's in the works. So 2016,
Well,
for you, for the Cold Harbor family.
Yeah, I've got a new album coming out in April. I'm really excited about it. I've been working on it for the last 2 years. You've heard a couple of singles from the album already, Destiny and Face Down. It's just like a, you know, leading up to it. But I'm really happy with this album because I've been doing the songwriting, not just tweaking the knobs on the keyboards and everything, but actually writing the stories that are in the music. Because you know, when I was younger, I used to do a lot of creative writing, and that was a passion of mine when I was in school. And then you start to learn to make music, and you forget about the spoken word. You know, you forget about the stories. You start making stories within the music. And then, like I said, I've just been looking for another challenge.
So what triggered that? What made you decide to kind of switch it up this time?
Well, I met somebody. Adina she's a songwriter, and you know, and she really kind of encouraged me, you know, to pursue that, and I thought that you know, it was very natural for me when we started writing together. And I just got very passionate about it. And then I started writing, you know, over the last 2 years, started getting in the studio with other songwriters, and the confidence started growing again. You know, it's like I felt like, wow, you know what? It's, you know, when you're young and you're a creative writer, you're so insecure that you just, you put it in a drawer and you don't think about it. You know, you're like, oh, this sucks. And you put it away. but then when you're writing, and especially with really accomplished songwriters, and they're like, yeah, that's dope, you know, that's amazing, you know, especially like when we were writing Destiny, you know, they're like, wow, you know, and it gives you the confidence to really,
right, I can do
yeah,
this.
exactly, it gives you confidence, and when you have that confidence, it gets addicting, you know. Confidence is addicting.
So what piece of advice do you have people that are out there that are just trying to get started with music and are not too sure about it? What's the number one piece of
Well,
advice
don't
you
put
have?
anything in the drawer, you know. Just have confidence and you know, just keep working.
And what's something that you feel the music industry can use more or less of?
Definitely more tolerance, you know. I think that all these different genres, and it's ironic we're here at Dreamstate and it's pure trance, and I get that, and it's beautiful, you know. It's really cool, but at the same time, I think genres divide people, and you know, I like to think that there's a lot of people out there tonight that are here because they want to experience something new, and maybe they're not you know, seasoned trance fans, but they love trance, or they, you know, and we're gonna make them crazy about this music, you know. But the idea is, it's like, you know, just be tolerant, and what has happened the last many years, it's the whole community has been divided by all the different genres, and I'm just really you know, seeing events like this flourish. And like I said, I know that there's a lot of people here that are not like trance purists. They are here because they love melodic music, and it's great, you know. People are here because they're not going to let genres or borders stop them from coming to hear great music.
And then lastly, for all your fans that are watching, what message do you have for them?
Oh, well, as always, just thank everybody for your support, and I'm really excited about 2016, and I hope all the fans are out there are ready for to have their minds blown.
All right, well, thanks for coming on, and can't wait for your set in just a little bit.
All right.
Thank you.